Oh, fuck. Damn. Hello, everybody. This is Matrixlord212 playing Malu, whatever her name is. Princess? What is it? I guess. I guess this is the European version. I was kind of nostalgic. This morning, I busted out I was in the closet there and I got some of the Atari 2600 games out, looking at them and stuff. Took some pictures, put them on Instagram of the original Spider-Man Atari 2600 game. So I also found the Star Trek and the Burger Time, old school in it. But I kind of, besides trophy hunting, I'm kind of in the mood. I don't know. I even posted on Twitter. I'm kind of like in a some type of. I want to do some type of side quest. I don't know what the hell I want to do. I don't know if it's do a whole bunch of videos for the channels or gaming or I don't know. I'm just in one of those moods, retro, nostalgic moods. Oh, I can't see. I gotta move the camera. Damn it. Hold on. Move camera. Okay. There we go. No, I can't. Now I can't see there. No matter what, I can't see. All right. What's going on out there, people? Yeah, I was watching Nick AR for hours this morning, looking at his 150 platinums. Great job with the video. Awesome. I actually wrote down every single thing, but then I realized how much more easier would have been to just go on his PSN profiles and write the list there. But I always get inspired when I see him playing all these games. I can't see. I gotta move the camera again. Oh. Could I do it like right there? Alright. I always get inspired, like I said, he plays like all these hard games, and a lot of times when I watch Nick AR's videos, I'm like, oh, I want to buy that game. So, he is a perfect salesman for all these games that he talks about because he gets people to buy them. And, like I said, I plenty of times I'll watch his video and I'm like, that looks interesting, and I buy it, you know? So, but the key is to actually do it rather than just buy it, which I need to do. Just platinum it. Really. That's what I need to do. Oh my God. Jesus. I have no patience sometimes. I just want to like zip through the fucking level. Just have patience, that's all. Gotta have patience. There you go. Have patience, bro. There we go. I kind of want to go into the city one day and just go to the old school stores that they got, like the video game stores. I'm really glad that I got my Atari 2600 games. I know that time when I moved, the guy that was holding my stuff was just gonna hold my stuff, and I even gave him money to hold it until I finished moving, and then I was gonna move everything in, and he wound up selling my shit, my Nintendo 8-bit games and Super Nintendo games, and I was devastated. And when I had my medical job, I was trying to buy back the games that were gone, but not my exact copies, but the ones that were missing, and it was costing me a fortune, especially buying like Mike Tyson's Punch Out and all that stuff. It was crazy. I was so devastated with losing my collection because, again, my collection was everything to me. So, never gonna happen again. Ever. Never gonna be put in a position again where I lose my stuff. Ever again. Damn. And the sad part is I don't think I even made a damn list of my Super Nintendo games. So, the only way to do it would be to buy every fucking game that exists eventually. What do I gotta get to 25? So the ColecoVision mini arcades I had in the 80s. I had Pac-Man, I had Frogger, I had Donkey Kong, Ms. Pac-Man, and Galaga. I think I had every one of the 5. And then, of course, I think a couple years ago, the company had put out like a thing, like I guess it was nostalgia if they were gonna do new versions of them, like new arcades. I think there was like I don't know if there was a Kickstarter campaign or somebody was trying to get them to do new versions of the mini arcades. And when I first saw it on the internet, I'm like, oh my God! Like, you right off the bat, you're like, I never seen those. And he was like, oh no, they're new. They're like 2020, whatever. But, back then it's like I had to have every one. And I did have every one, So, like, there was this guy that did all the Spider-Man videos, right? I played every single made. And of course that wasn't true because when I watched this video, he didn't play the Commodore 64 Spider-Man game, which was called Quest Probe, and I knew that because I had that, and that was like a pain in the ass, that game, because you had to type everything in, what you wanted Spider-Man to do, like go north, climb the wall, whatever. And it was pretty freaking cool because there was 3 versions of that. And hey, Palsio. And there was a Quest Probe Spider-Man Commodore 64. There was a Quest Probe Hulk. And there was a Quest Probe like half the Fantastic Four. I guess the 4th one was supposed to be Reed and Sue. The 3rd one was Human Torch and the Thing. But I guess because of funding, they never got to do a 4th game. But I remember playing that, and I remember like that was like so fascinating having a computer, and even though like it wasn't actually playing, you were like, oh my God, the direction you're getting, Spider-Man do things by typing in commands. That was like popular back then. That was like the most popular thing. Um, all these crazes, especially like when we had the handheld Spider-Man games too. You know, so I was kind of nostalgic this morning. You know, remembering all my cool stuff and toys and games, and remembering like my favorite Spider-Man toy was a 1979 Remco, I think it was, the Energizer Spider-Man, and he had a battery and he climbed the wall with the hook. And it was the first toy I ever broke, and the first time that, in the rare instances that my family kept rebuying that one toy, because Spider-Man was like my favorite thing, and I guess it was just cheaply made or whatever it was, and it just, well, actually it wasn't even cheaply made, it was heavy, right? It just, I kept, maybe I didn't know how to, I kept breaking it, right? So like, but, you know, it was a thing where if you break it, we're not going to buy it for you again, but that rule was broken with that, because every damn family member, from my uncle Frank, who was my dad's army buddy in Vietnam, to my aunts, to my dad buying it, they kept buying me the Spider-Man, you know, that toy. I wish I still had it, because that was like my favorite thing. And then it was also a rare, super huge Spider-Man bank, and a Spider-Man Halloween thing, I remember, that I wish I still had. I remember the Spider-Man bank was big as life. It was like really huge. We had a lot of cool stuff. I remember my aunt had this fascination with banks, and she was the first to have that gadget with the worm had ate the coin. That was a bank. But even Godzilla, oh, I loved Godzilla, still love Godzilla. Anything with Godzilla. Remember as a kid, I never got the toy and I wanted it so bad. I remember being in 5th grade, graduation, and I remember like someone in the friggin' audience got their kid the friggin' Godzilla that shot the discs out of his mouth. And I remember wanting that toy so bad, and for some reason I couldn't get it. I don't know why. I got mostly anything I wanted except for some reason, Transformers and Voltron, which I really wanted. I don't know why I didn't get that, but I got every G.I. Joe thing there is, He-Man. For some reason, I don't know why I didn't get those, but I was very spoiled as a kid. Oh, there's my Platinum there. What is it? 7,729. That's what this is. Yeah, so I'm kind of in the mood. I may want to do a series of videos on my other channels to boost the subscriber count for my other channels. Like nostalgia, old school stuff, you know, to show how I was a gamer in the past, before there was trophies and platinums. Like, I'm talking Matrixlord212 in the 70s and 80s, like the stuff I played, and if I couldn't get access to it from the closet, because that's another thing too, I was trying to go in my closet, and I kind of messed up my hernia, and now I can't lift. So that's a factor too, because there's some things I want to do some videos about and show off. But, oh, thank you. But I kind of, what do you guys think if I do, let's say on my second or fourth channel, or maybe my third channel, if I do like retro stuff of like, say, maybe on the gaming channel, the retro gaming, like the old school ColecoVision mini arcades like Pac-Man I had and stuff like that. Would you guys want to see me play those things? The Commodore 60, I don't even know if the Commodore 64 works anymore, but Atari 2600, Atari 5200, TurboGrafx 16, Genesis. I think what I would probably need is I don't know how that would work because it's the old school stuff to hook up to the TV, and I don't think you could hook up that stuff to current TVs. I don't know how that would work. I would have to really do some research because the outlets and stuff were different because the TVs were different back then. So you could not hook up a 2600, 5200, or Commodore to current TVs. But I kind of want to do that. I think on one channel, I think I would want to do the classic toys, right? On another channel, I want to do the classic games. And I think on my other, like, because I don't want to put on my main channel. My main channel is cluttered as it is. But I think I want to do on my another channel, because I have 4 channels. So one channel would also be showing off the old school VHS movies. Like, I have a huge collection of, I don't know why, but, well, I probably do know why, because I loved Evil Dead. Whenever I saw a new version of a VHS Evil Dead, I bought it. So I have, like, that one movie multiple times in VHS form of Evil Dead 2, whatever, I think. But the old school, I have the Star Wars VHS and Empire Strikes Back. And I think I remember. Oh, thank you so much. So here's a story. My dad used to work in New York City brokerage firms, right? So he was worked on Wall Street, right? When the VCR was first invented, okay, the first movies on the VCR were like $80, $100, $150 in the city. They were like selling them, right? So my dad bought me Star Wars for $80 and Empire Strikes Back, right? So my dad knew I loved that, but the price was absolutely ridiculous and extraordinary. But he's like, no, I gotta have this for JoJo. I gotta have this for Joseph. And he bought me, because I guess if you have a kid named Joseph, you call him JoJo, right? I mean, that's what we did in my family. They call me Joseph or JoJo, just like I call my son JoJo. So he's like, he spent $80 or $85 on Star Wars, right? And then Empire Strikes Back. Now, when I was I think, I don't know the reasoning behind not having, I don't think I had the VHS Return of the Jedi. But I remember when I went to the movies to see Return of the Jedi, I was very disappointed because I was mad that I hated the Ewoks. And I was like, what the F is this? Like, when I saw in the theater, I'm like, why is that in there? Like, I was a kid, and I guess I was starting, like, you go from Star Wars, right, and seriousness, and then Empire, really dark, right? And then all of a sudden with Jedi, my awareness started to kick in, and I'm like, something's wrong, right? And I remember seeing these things called Ewoks, but they were like cutesy, like fucking teddy bears. And I remember saying, what the fuck is this? This is shit. Why is this shit in my Star Wars, right? I didn't understand, like, why the fuck that was in there, right? Until, I guess, years later, I'm like, oh, he caved George Lucas because they marketing, oh, let's make something for kids that's not dark and not this one's stabbing this one. So let's put some shit in there besides the droids like fucking teddy bear type things. Cutesy fucking stuffed animals we can make millions and millions of fucking dollars off of. Let's throw that shit in there. So it's like, I kind of felt that, because even Return of the Jedi was supposed to be Revenge of the Jedi, and then you kind of started to see, all right, something's going wrong or something's going different, where he's starting to alter his vision. But just like the whole thing with Han Solo, like, Han Solo is a smuggler, and he's not a hero. Not that he's a bad guy, but he's not a hero. I mean, he became a hero, but he didn't do hero things, right? So I remember hearing a story when I was little that women approached George Lucas or freaked him out, that they're like, Han Solo can't shoot people, he's a fucking, whatever. And I remember him trying to bullshit and say, oh, Han didn't shoot first, which would make no fucking sense because he's a smuggler and he's not interested in the right or wrong, he's interested in survival. So if he's going to get shot by a bounty hunter, fuck you, I'm shooting first. So all these bullshit interviews like today, where he's like, oh, Han never shot first, complete bullshit, by the way, because my version, I remember he was trying to buy all the versions on it that Han shot first. My fucking version of it has it that Han shot first, okay? And you didn't do no fucking, whatever they call it, the Mandela effect. You didn't do, nobody altered the fucking timeline for that shit. So my fucking copy is not altered or fucking magically fucking changed. Like a special edition. Han fucking shot Greedo dead first. So that ain't fucking altered. But Moonraker, I don't know why that's altered. Moonraker is altered all over the place. I remember when I was a kid, she had braces completely. And that was the whole point of the movie, is that this ugly guy, this girl falls in love with him and he falls in love with her because of the braces, the teeth. That's why they loved each other. Not because she could have had anybody. She was like, hot, whatever. But nobody liked her, I guess, because of the braces. But that was the thing why they fell in love with each other. And then I felt some punk kid, when they started doing these remastered shits, they're like, oh, that's wrong. I think that's wrong. Let me fix that. And I think that they fucking changed everything and fucked it up. And I always was against anything that was remastered, because they always fucked up the sound, and they all sounded like fucking chipmunks, or like fucking, did not sound like the way they always sounded. It was always like they didn't know, the person that was remastering it didn't know anything about sound, and they fucked up the voice for like Captain Kirk, and they tried to remaster it, and they Back to the Future, remember Christopher Lloyd, they speed up his fucking voice, and everything's all fucking weird, so I was always against that, like the remasters, because I always know that anytime remastered, means they fucked it up, especially like trailers and shit that they try to do, and they go back and they try to fix it, they fuck shit up. So if you guys want me to do old school, like VHS and old school toys and old school gaming spread along the 4 channels, I think I may start doing like a series on that. And hopefully you like it, because I'm looking to I really want my other channels to have as many subscribers as the main channel. And have so much history, So it would be nice if I could do that. And also too, I think I wanna. When the weather starts getting warm, I think I wanna go into the city and try. I want to do videos on the road out. Like I do. I don't know if you liked the morning with Matrixlord the other day. I had this thing in my head. I wanted to go to CVS at 6 in the morning. Did not realize that, yeah, despite them opening at 6 in the morning, if the cashier don't show up, they can't open. So I was stranded trying to get in there for like, and then they weren't opening, and then I came home. But yeah, I have 4 channels. Matrixlord212, then it's Matrixlord212 Channel 2, then Matrixlord212 Gaming, and then Matrixlord212 Channel 4. And I kind of want to do something unique for each channel, so that way you could say this happens on Channel 4, this happens on Channel 2. My main channel really has everything to do with gaming, podcasting, reviewing like foods and snacks. I do motivational stuff. There's so much on my main channel, and I don't know what you're trying to say, that translation there, but yeah. So I want to do videos when it gets warm. I have to go back into the city because I want to do a new book. And the thing see, that's the thing, is like I don't know. I have different fan bases on my main channel, and I don't know what kind of fan. Like, some people get confused because some know me from gaming, right? Some know me from Doctor Who. Some know me from podcasting. Some know me from writing books. But not everybody knows I do all these things, So one of the biggest things in my life besides gaming and Doctor Who is writing books. And the thing I love doing is I get an idea in my head for what I want on the book cover, and then I like what I call scouting. So I'll go and try to take pictures of what I want the cover to be. And a lot of times, the way I handle the books is I feel that you do judge my books by my covers. So I try to do the greatest cover ever. And sometimes, just from this image I have in my brain about a book cover, I wrap a story around it, right? Or a series. So I've been itching to do another book since Twists of Hate, my last one. And if you know the story behind that, Twists of Hate was released the day before we went into lockdown. Okay? And I didn't know what a lockdown was, neither did anybody else. And I had set up a book signing in the city for one of the biggest, I set up a thing with the books for them to have the books at launch, and I was going to set up a book signing after. So for the first time in history, in Barnes and Noble, it's going to be released the day of launch, which was supposed to be. It was released, and I think for one day, and then the next day everything went in lockdown, and then no one could get the book because no one's allowed to go to stores that weren't essential. So I was thank you so much. I worked really hard on that. I did sort of like a documentary on my channel about that, how I was showing how, because that's the biggest thing when you're doing that creative process. You want them to capture as much as possible to what you're thinking in your head, your vision. And I was doing a series with Scott from my podcast show, The Real Hoovians, we were talking about the new book, and I was showing how they weren't getting it right. And what I had to wind up doing is to make the deadline, I had to pay them overtime to work on the weekend because I had to pay my team to create this. I had a whole team. And I think I had to spend $500 extra. So I wound up spending, I think it was $2,500 on that book. And then when lockdown happened, no one could get it. So I was devastated. And the book suffered, where now, when everything came out of lockdown, it kind of like hurt the whole book thing, where the company doesn't want to carry that book, or they don't want to do any book signings, they don't want to do anything. And it's not the book's fault, but it got screwed in this whole pandemic thing. And I didn't do a book for a while, and I sunk into gaming, but I always was going to do more books. And, this was my... It's nice, right? I worked really hard on it, by the way. It's just, I had a great team, So, thank you. So, yeah, the book series... I have two book series, Sorrow Separation and Tomorrow's Song. And I went back into the original series and did that book, the 10th book for it. So I have a few manuscripts that are ready to go, but I didn't have the money at the moment because a lot of stuff happened with me past year. Lost my job, a whole bunch of different things. My health went down, so I'm sort of like rebuilding everything. I'm trying to get my health back. I'm trying to get with my new coverage dentist and trying to redo all the teeth and everything. Amazon, actually. If you go to Amazon, and if you, I don't know why it's, let me see. I don't know if can you see that? Probably not. I have to do a video on it. If you type in my name, Joseph, Joseph, middle initial J, and my last name, Capriccioso, in Amazon, all my books will come up, and you could, for some reason it's not capturing. If you put my name in Amazon, all my books come up, in theory anyway. Well, if you like that cover, you'll love the other ones too. Like I said, I really worked hard on this. It's a little dusty right now, but this is my pride and joy, and I really love the book. I think I put my best into that one. It got a bad rap, and I sort of wish I had, just like I have there's all these different groups that support me with Doctor Who. I like Whovians. I wish I sort of had a group that supported the books, that did things like, because, I would really want this book to shine, and I feel it got really messed over, So if you do get the book, word of mouth, please. If you enjoyed it, I don't want you to promote it if you hate it, but if you enjoyed it, I would love for you to share it and talk it up to your friends and tell people, hey, this guy wrote this. Well, this is book 13 books published, but this poor baby got hurt in the process. I feel bad. So there's a book, the Sorrow series, which is sort of sad but inspirational. And then there's the other series, Tomorrow's Song, which is like 10 years later. and like a whole new life, a whole new beginning, a new romance for the character, everything. So those books are all bright and shiny and showcasing the love and the happiness, and they're Promised Dream, Paradise is Life, Perfect Wish. They all have the P letter in the titles, to showcase their nuance. And I planned on other books in that series as well. And then I recently had an idea to do a third series, to which I was working on the book now while doing gaming, while, doing all this stuff. So, yeah, it started off as poetry, but there's characters, it's fiction. So after a certain time, it became like fiction slash poetry, if that makes any sense. Yeah. So sorrow, separation. I'll list them for you. Sorrow, separation, tomorrow's song, winds of change, destiny's calling, loss of ways, shadows reign, greatness and glory, dark days, 9 years time, promised dream, paradise is life, perfect wish, and then twists of hate. Those are all the book titles. You could rewind the video on YouTube if you wanted to hear them. For some reason, there was a discrepancy with Winds of Change, that I had to go back in there and change something. And they listed it as it came out a year later for some reason, as a different book, and it wasn't. See, the thing, I didn't listen to my book advisor at the time, because like when I did the book, I wanted to like put everybody in it, like thank everybody, right? Anybody that has motivated me, right? So he's like, listen, don't get busy with that. Well, you want to thank everybody, from the person that makes your pizza, which I did, by the way, to like whatever, because it's sometimes people are looking for something, or they're like, they don't know how to act, and they're like, and unfortunately I got that, where people are like, well, why is my name this on the list, And it's like, well, what do you mean? It's not a list of first to second to third. It's, you were kind to me, so I put you in the book. Not that like you had nothing to do with me doing the book. It's just you were kind. But I should have listened to my book advisor, because I wound up having to spend a lot of money, go in there. It was just stupid. And just, I started to feel like I'm not going to thank anybody other than like, a family member or something, because people just didn't know how to friggin' act. But that screwed up the book. And also I think it was, I had to change, like I missed something in that they did an error, or they misspelled something, so I had to change a poem. It was just poem in Winds of Change, and they just, I don't like that they reclassified it as, and it's not a new book. It was just they had to change something. But people think that they get confused, because they think Winds of Change comes after this book. And no, not that. See, the thing is, the books were out of order anyway, but I wanted people to know the exact order they were released, because I was always a nut like that. And there was also like a system to it. Like, it was a style. There was like, so I had to go back and fix Winds of Change. Now I still have to go back and fix Shadows Reign, because they screwed up, and they duplicated a poem, and I'm like, why would you do that as a different name? I don't know why. And then they they wanted to charge me a lot of money to fix it, and I just never had the time to go back in there and fix it. But I think I'm still going to do that eventually because I don't like mistakes. I think what they even got my uncle's name wrong or something. They misspelled it, and I was pissed about that too. Um, so I don't want to have books that were wrong, with misspellings and stuff. So if I ever have to go back in there, I have to spend money. But yeah, I want to do that. I want to do another book, and so if you're a fan of gaming, great. If you're a fan of movies, great. If you're a fan of my books, great. I'm gonna be doing my gaming, because I'm trying to be number one in America on PlayStation, and then the world. So I'm gonna be getting. This is a cool thing. This is like, this is not like shovelware where this is like you beat it in 5 seconds, and it's not like a one button game. It's actually a game like a sort of Mario type where you're a princess and you're jumping around like Mario. I like this, and I'm gonna do the other version of it too. I think what they do is they put out multiple versions of these games for us gamers. So there would be like maybe 2, 4, 6, or 8 versions of this, meaning there's one for PS4 and one for PS5, North America region, then Europe, PS4, PS5, Asia, PS4, PS5, or Japan, PS4 and PS5. But you have to check, 'cause sometimes they're not available in multiple regions. But I currently, this will be the third time I platinum this, and I got another one I got to do. So if you enjoy what you see, please leave a comment down below talking to me about it, and let me know what you think of, on my main channel. Let me know what you think of my other channels if you went and watched them, and comment on, I guess, the latest video and let me know. But thank you guys so much for everything you've done for me. It's a holiday season now, and I'm kind of joyful and vibe, and